Welcome back to the Abandoned Homestead. Today we're going to talk about the most important resource that you have, and that's your water source. Water allows you to water your livestock, water your plants, flush your toilets if you have them, and of course stay hydrated yourself. Without it, every other function of this homestead would fail. Now we're lucky that this property has a well that was put in 1998. There's a 3/4 horse electric well pump at the bottom of this well, and it does a phenomenal job of pressurizing the tank inside the cabin, which is great. But when we lose power, we need a backup way of getting that water from deep underground through all that limestone up for us to use. And I'm going to solve that here today using a new modernized version of the manual well pump that you may remember from when you were a kid. Let's take a look. The pump that I've selected for this project is from Bison Pumps. Like I said, they're a modern system, and I'll show you some of its features as we do the install. If you come along here, you'll see the tubes that we use to pump the water up. At first glance, it looks like normal PVC, but this is custom built. Along the tube, you'll find information to get to www.bisonpumps.com and a customer help support line, so when you're doing your install, you're never without somebody who can give you excellent help. This purpose-built PVC comes with pre-threaded and pre-pipe taped end pieces. Each one of these will fit in perfectly into the one before it. But more importantly, inside this tube, you have a stainless steel rod with couplers built in. This is why I chose this pump specifically. This rod runs the entire length of your tubing and pumps the water up instead of pulling the water up. What I'm talking about here is because the actual pump is at the bottom of the tube, you're pushing the water up hydraulically instead of trying to pull up a massive air bubble pneumatically. And if you know anything about hydraulics versus pneumatics, you know that hydraulics don't compress, they're far more efficient, and if you're pulling a gigantic air bubble, you're never going to get that water down if it's more than a couple dozen feet. We need to pump the water up, not pull the water up. It's very, very important that you know the difference. I've already pulled this out of the package, but we've got 2 of these boxes of 8-foot pipes, 18 in total, which gets us down to about 146 feet, which will be below the water line, but still above the electric pump, so that we're not going to be impeding the electric pump operation. We should have both independent systems installed at the same time and be able to use either one at a whim. This is where I'm going to deviate a little bit from standard YouTube videos where people try to fake excitement to get across a point or to sell a product or to get views. I don't need to fake my excitement today because I've been planning on putting one of these pumps on that wellhead for about 15 years, and it is genuinely exciting day for us. So let's crack into this package. I haven't opened it up yet. You're going to discover it as I discover it myself. You can always tell the quality of a company by the packaging that they use. This is all purpose cut. It's got an inset manual, owner's manual. This is going to be handy because we don't have internet on the abandoned homestead here. So going through this installation manual, nice colored pictures, is going to help us out a lot because we don't have the ability of watching the Bison Pump installation video while we're out here. Let's keep a hold of this. That's one instruction manual I'm not throwing away. We'll be using this piece to block off the piping from falling in the well itself while we install the next section. This is critical to ensure that you don't drop that pipe all the way down, because if you drop that pipe down your well, it's going to be near impossible for you to get it back. So there's going to be this and a safety rope as we go along. Installation T-handle allows you to tighten down that threaded rod. Look at that quality right there. That's nice. All right, right to the pump, right off the beginning. Looks like they've already installed a nice nylon safety rope. I was going to do this anyways, but it looks like it comes with one. Threaded insert on the end. This is what we're going to thread into. And then this is taped, half-hitch tape with a safety knot. That's going to be just fine. Nylon rope is important because this won't rot or wear away over time, and you can leave this in the well, cap it off at the top so you never lose it. So you always have an ability to pull this back up or maintain this over time, even if the pipe is damaged. So this will not be coming off of this pump ever. The wellhead itself. Like I said, all stainless steel construction, modern nylon bushings, modern rubbers. So unlike the pumps that we used to use as kids, this is going to last a lot longer. It's not going to be rusty in a few years. Honestly, I'm just jazzed to see it. I'm having a really good moment right now, and I'm losing some of my words. So I'm extremely excited to put this on. We'll talk more about it as we get it on the well. I'm sure this intro has gone on long enough. I'm very excited to show you some of the features of this machine. You could say I'm pumped. And no, that won't be the last time I make that pun during this video. So strap yourselves in. However, if you do want to look at its merits and not just the humor of the situation, you can see that this is extremely well constructed. Beautiful brushed stainless steel, all welded nicely. Looks like a maybe a TIG weld, could be a laser weld. They're very nice, very precise. They either have an extremely good welder working for them, or they have the machinery set up absolutely perfectly. This is a standard hose fitting on the end with a nice brass cap, so you can hook this up to a hose, and this will generate enough pressure to pressurize a pressure tank inside the house if you need to. That's not the way I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be using the old school method. With this little post sticking out of the end here, you can put a bucket strap over the top of this, fill your bucket, and not have to worry about holding onto your container. So nice smooth action. We're going to see this when we get to the top of the pump, but I specifically ordered one that had an 8-inch inside diameter, which is much larger than my current wellhead, and I'll show you why. Bison makes these pumps to fit directly on top of your stock wellhead, but I thought that'd be a little bit too easy, so I complicated things by setting a goal of recasing this with an 8-inch aluminum pipe, so that when I concrete this in and install the well pump, I'll have a nice looking aluminum to stainless steel structure that is super solid and sturdy. This would be sturdy, it's fine, but I wanted it to be rock solid. Hey, a quick note here. I love how professionally everything's packaged. Everything's labeled, looks nice, neat, and clean. Beautiful, beautiful packaging work by Bison Pumps. Each of these sections is 8 feet long, but you need to hook up the steel rod first with these couplers and jam nuts. Once you have it nice and straight, they thread on quite easily. Once your steel rod is connected, you can drop the pre-threaded and taped threaded connection down into the last pipe. You don't need any tools for this. You want to go just snug enough that it becomes difficult, and then a quarter turn more. Anything more than that, you can start messing up the threads. That helps hold it up while you're working. Drop it down another 8 feet. And you're ready for your next section. We're only 3 sections down, but we've already hit water. Pump seems to work pretty well. It'll work even better when it has a big handle on it. Now this one here isn't related. This is the pitless adapter for our main electrical well pump I was talking about earlier. I picked it up and moved it out of the way so we'd have room to insert this, but it's gonna go back in at the end so that we have both. Voiceover Travis here. This entire installation only took us 1 day, and we went above and beyond and created a new concrete stand for this pump. If we didn't have to pour the concrete and wait for that to set in order to finish installing this, we could have done this in half a day easily. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with Bison's recommendation of just doing a standard installation on top of the existing wellhead, but I wanted to do something that's a little more old-fashioned, a little bit more unique to my situation. What I'm doing here is using old chimney blocks and then mixing the concrete in 5-gallon buckets. It makes it a lot easier if you do it in small batches like this. And having one of those high torque, low RPM concrete drills to help mix that concrete makes this easy to do. I'll put an affiliate link for that concrete mixing drill below in the description if you guys are interested in making your lives a lot easier. And here we are, finally screwing on the pump wellhead for the first time and getting it into place. Almost got the pump installed. It's important that you tie off your safety rope to the bottom eyelet of the pump before fully lowering this down onto the platform, so that if anything does happen, you have any breaks and disconnects, you can still retrieve the expensive submerged pump, just like you would with an electric pump. And here's the big moment, seeing if everything lines up. Stainless to aluminum to concrete. And we got it first try. Good feelings. All right, so she's fully installed. Time for a test. Handle's real easy to move, real easy. There she goes. Takes about a pump and a half for an ice cold glass of water. Wow, I love that Michigan groundwater right through the limestone. Delicious, cold, the glass is already perspiring. You can't get more refreshing than that. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with this pump. But more than just being impressed with having a neat piece of technology on the farm, on the homestead, the abandoned homestead. If you wanted to learn more about that, by the way, building this porch, fixing up this cabin, fixing up the lodge down the road, check out the other videos of the channel. This video is about this pump. The reason why we have it is because it secures the basic need of having water. I mentioned earlier in the video, in the very beginning, that this makes it so that we can grow plants, feed our livestock, flush our toilets, if you have them. Again, another video. And that water is critical to everything you do as a survivalist, a prepper, a homesteader, or just an everyday human being who needs to live. So having this manual backup to our electric systems gives me a lot of peace of mind, and I'm extremely happy to have it on the property. It's been years that I've been trying to get one of these, and we finally have it installed. I'll be honest, I can't stop pumping it, playing with it. I'm gonna have a gigantic pool here by the end of the day because I'm just ecstatic to have this thing. So that's all I've got for you guys on this video. Again, if you want to see more, I've got other videos on the channel. Thanks.